Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's In Conversation session. Today, we're going to be talking about the digital transformation in Telefonica Germany, building a platform for the future. And I'm joined by Mariam Kaynia, the Vice President and Director of Architecture, Strategy and Analytics from Telefonica. Welcome, Mariam.
Hi, Ian. Thanks for having me.
And also Guy Tennant, the CTO from Hansen Technologies.
Hi, Ian. Hi, everybody.
So let's get started. Really just to set the scene, Mary, I'm wondering if you can start with this. Tell us a little bit about this transformation you're on. What is it you're actually planning to do there in Telefonica Germany?
Sure, happy to. So we've recently launched an end-to-end architecture transformation, which is looking at our entire IT landscape, all the way from channels to core BSS systems and even to the shared domains. What we're doing in this transformation is to revisit the architecture from a stack perspective. So we want to consolidate from 6 stacks down to 2. And we want to change out some of our core BSS systems and use state-of-the-art technologies from the market, where we have, for example, Hansen Sigma solution chosen for our order management and product catalog. We are also doing a major cloudification. We are moving to microservice architecture and APIfication. And finally, we are also doing a major business simplification as part of this in order to make sure we really have a clean, end-to-end, simplified and standardized landscape at the end.
So you're certainly doing a really major transformation there. So you tell me, what's been the driver? What's been made you want to embark upon this transformation?
Sure. Well, we have a legacy IT landscape, which has grown in complexity over the years, and we haven't really invested in transforming it so far. And it's been a long history of mergers and acquisitions and new stacks being added. And with this new stack that I mentioned, where indeed, as you pointed out, we are really touching the whole IT landscape, we really want to create a future-proof architecture that allows us to meet the new customer demand, which, as we all know, is requiring more digitalization, more individualism. Everyone wants it more tailored to themselves, and you can't have that level of complexity in the systems. Secondly, we are also increasing the agility to improve our time to markets, to faster be able to deploy new functionalities that we will need in order to meet the fast changing customer demand. And thirdly, we want to reduce our total cost of ownership.
Okay. Yeah, I think the drive for agility, very, very common. Lots and lots of companies all needing that same thing. And the old story about total cost of ownership, I think that one's never gone away. So Guy, if I could bring you into the conversation here, from Hansen point of view, what's the role you're playing in this transformation?
Well, Hansen is providing our Create, Deliver, Engage suite to manage Telefonica Deutschland's mass market business, which is effectively their brands that they offer to market. I think at the centerpiece of that is essentially our enterprise catalog, which is based on TM Forum frameworks and concepts, and coupled with with the sales process, CPQ, and order management. Being able to define and launch services, I guess, is the key thing that it's got to enable. It's got to enable rapid innovation to market. And so in that sense, we're playing a central role in that our solutions will be key to enabling innovation in Telefonica, doing product lifecycle management, bundling, pricing, quoting, ordering, and the fulfillment of orders, the orchestration of provisioning and partners. That's essentially the key elements that we're providing.
Okay, just wondering if I can dig in a little bit deeper into sort of what you're actually building here, Mariam. If I can come back to you, what were the sort of key decisions? And I'm thinking particularly here in relationship to do you bring in applications off the shelf? Do you build it yourself? Is there a combination? What way have you tackled this transformation?
We're definitely going for standard off-the-shelf products as a starting point. And our main driver was that we wanted to leverage the market expertise and also to help us standardize and simplify our landscape. So our ambition, or let's say the direction, is to use the standard out-of-the-box solutions as a frame in order to guide us, in order to be more selective on exactly what to do and what not to do, And we obviously have a limit on the amount of customizations that we want to go for. So I think that's the most important part, but we also have, as part of our key strategy, is a move to cloud. So a cloud native solution was also one of the key, underlying cornerstones for the whole transformation. And we want to increase, obviously, our flexibility and scalability with this in the future. And that's how we selected our cloud native Hansen solution for our product catalog and order management mass market, among others.
Yeah. So Guy, from your point of view, cloud native solution, going to the cloud, very common approach now. From your point of view, why was that sort of an essential part of this transformation, or indeed was it essential?
Telefonica are embarked on a radical IT transformation. That's what the program's actually called. So, and you could argue that without cloud native, it might not be that radical. So you might say in some respects it was table stakes, but I think more importantly, we shared a vision of what cloud native should be with Telefonica, and we worked through what that meant to both of us. And I think in the areas of continuous integration, continuous delivery, the kind of DevOps area, there are particular advantages just in terms of uniformity of how you deploy, the release cadences you can accommodate, and those things then lead to greater responsiveness to market, it leads to us being able to align ourselves more closely with Telefonica being able through their SIs to deploy more easily, and then all the good things about cloud, uniform deployment, scalability, resilience, etc. But I guess in the end of it, it really is about responding to the market and providing your customers with the best possible solution. And we think cloud native is a very good way to do that. So that's I think the key elements.
Yeah. Okay. So I'd like us to think about the benefits side of this. We're going to have people watching this at home, and they're going to think, right, does it work? What stage are we at now, and are we beginning to see any of the benefits coming through, or what's your thoughts on the benefits of this transformation?
Sure. So to be maybe fair, I have to say we are only 9 months into our program, right? And of course, the whole program is 3 years long, which is quite ambitious, which means we're already 25% into the program. So I would not talk on behalf of, getting all the results, but I can definitely talk about the 1/4 that we have covered so far. In this time, I could say we definitely see quite a lot of impact already from the cloud move. So we have already shifted some of our applications into the cloud, and we notice in terms of the flexibility to deploy or make changes when we have, for example, even defects, or if there is a market reaction to something and we need to really do an adaptive or adapt our solution to this, we are able to do it much faster. So this is definitely something we already see for those applications where we moved it. Second part is what we have achieved so far is that we also did the transition to the new partners. And here maybe worth to mention a bit the background. As part of this transformation, we also consolidated our vendor landscape, where we went from more than 7 vendors to really 2 partners who helped us with this transformation, in addition to the solution providers who also are partners for us in this whole journey. And in that sense, we are really on track in terms of transition, in terms of doing the blueprinting for our transformation, being able to move the applications into cloud, as I mentioned, and so far meeting all the timelines and targets that we have set for ourselves. But for 1/4, we are happy, and we will continue with the same momentum for the remaining time.
Good. On track so far, which is good news. And Guy, from your point of view, has this been different to other transformations? I imagine you've been involved in and worked with many companies over the years. How does this one compare in terms of maybe its ambition or its success so far?
Right. Well, I think Telefonica are not necessarily, or Telefonica Deutschland, are not necessarily unique in seeing cloud native as an essential element of future-proofing their businesses, especially as operators look at 5G and they think about network function virtualization, and they're effectively virtualizing their entire network, it's kind of inconceivable that you wouldn't apply that same set of concepts to your IT backbone, to your back office, and so on. And so I think in that respect, this is kind of a natural progression. What's different about Telefonica Deutschland is the sheer scope and scale of the operation and of the radical IT transformation that they're doing, the kind of the migration onto a completely new platform rather than a kind of a piecemeal approach. And in that sense, it's the scale and ambition is unique. But we are confident. I mean, we're part of a very good team. Telefonica have a very good team, very strong people. There are good SIs working to make it a success, strong governance. And I think we all feel confident that we're on a good trajectory. So yes, this is the biggest one we're doing, and we're all very excited to be part of it.
Yeah. Okay. One of the things I'm always interested in any of these transformations is the cultural changes which are required. Happy for either of you to take this question, really. I'm thinking the changes within the organization, or perhaps the changes between, I think, Mariam, you mentioned it going from a supplier relationship to a partnership relationship. Mm-hmm. But Mariam, very briefly, I guess, starting with within the organization, have you had to change the culture of the organization in order to really maximize the transformation?
Yeah, I mean, so yes, we've started on the journey. As we all know, culture change or mindset change is not something that happens overnight. So we've started on that journey, and we see some changes already, but it still is a journey, and it still will take some time to arrive at the full potential that we are envisioning. So a few of the changes that we've established are. First of all, we changed really the mindset in terms of end-to-end ownership and end-to-end accountability in the organization on all levels, and this also applies to our partners. Yeah? In the past, we had very much of what I mentioned before. We just have vendors, so we tell exactly what to do, and then it's done. Check. Yeah. We've really changed that to make sure that there is accountability also on our partner side, from SI perspective, from solution perspective. And also internally, we're doing the same. So on all levels of the organization, we've established this. Now, we had a few triggers that helped us. We did a reorganization at the same time. So it really helped us to define new roles and responsibilities. And we also established this whole transformation as part of the line organization, which allowed us really to establish the organization around also, the impact that we want to achieve. Instead of the typical way, maybe that you have a digital entity somewhere that has to fight with the rest of the organization. So this is also something we did differently. The second part culturally is we are moving to agile ways of working. We've established this together with business in terms of tribes and squads. And the third one is we're moving to DevOps. So we started moving some of the operation teams closer to development teams. This applies also to our SIs. And over the next couple of years, we will complete our DevOps journey. But as mentioned, this is really the starting point for a longer path that we have ahead of us.
Yeah, long journey. We'll have to bring you back in 18 months to have the same conversation again and hear about how that's all going. But that'd be good to do. We are actually getting very close to the end of our time. So really, what I always like to do in conversations like this is give each of you the opportunity to leave the audience with one closing word, one nugget of wisdom from your experience. They're going to be embarking upon transformations like this as well. So Guy, if I could come to you first, what would be your word of advice you'd like to leave with the audience today?
Well, I guess it's about, transformations at the end of the day are about people. People working differently through the agency of technology and new partnerships and so on. But that people aspect is absolutely key. And I think part of that is also the relationships that you have with your vendors and your suppliers. There needs to be a kind of a shared vision, and you need to feel that you have influence. And I think if you focus on those key things, that helps a lot. Obviously, we're a technology vendor, and we'd love you to look at our Create, Deliver, Engage suite, because we think we have something really, really good and market leading. But the people factor is probably the biggest factor in transforming your organization in a digital transformation process. And so that I think is key.
Thank you. And Mariam?
I fully agree with Guy, but I have to say something different. So I will
Good.
add, I will add maybe with another perspective or another aspect that I would encourage everyone to think. Be bold and try new ways. There is a tendency that if a transformation didn't work once, or we tried this and it didn't work, therefore it will never work again. Bear in mind, most transformations or successful transformations, they did fail a couple of times before they succeeded. And therefore, learning from the experience, adapting the approach, and even taking bold new ways of doing it. I mean, we have a lot of factors which we didn't reach to talk about now, which are really unique in terms of how we set the whole thing up, and what makes us also confident, well, we will succeed this time. But that's the word of advice I would give: be bold, persistent, and try new ways.
Okay. Well, thank you both very much. It's been, that's all we have time for. So thank you, Mariam. Thank you, Guy. It has been really great hearing your insights today. And to the audience, I hope you have found this discussion useful and helpful. And if you're on your transformation, or if you're starting a transformation, I hope it's going to help you on the way. But thank you very much, and goodbye.
Thank you, and thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.